Well, hello everyone. This is a bit of a story of about failure. It's no longer live art, it's recorded art. Having intended to be there in person, and then having intended to at least be there virtually by Skype, all of these things failed, so that now I'm left with explaining myself and perhaps doing a bit of a presentation in order to explain my situation. Originally, as I said, I was going to rely on technology, so I'm going to put away all this technology. We're not going to use technology except the video camera. I'm going to put this all away. Instead, we're going to concentrate on the material at hand, being pencils and pencil sharpeners. I have here a very nice collection. I don't know if you can see it, a very nice collection of pencils, very exclusive, or at least very traditional, amongst other things, Eberhard Faber, Great Wall of China, and Hartmut Mephisto from Bohemia. As you can see, they've not yet been used and they probably remain unused. Then I have a large collection of stationery all sorts, which is also interesting in as much as we have some traditional sharpeners. This is one of those double-sized sharpeners. You have the sort of fun kids versions. You have the single sharpener. These are things that I used to use in my youth, but I don't know if they're still in use today. This is a bit of a special one here. A Faber-Castell, I think, with an actual razor blade, an old-fashioned razor blade in it, which is sort of interesting also. Then we have like Lumberman's pen, all chewed up. This is also a nice one. Then we have just the straightforward pencil in wood, Bruinzeel. It's a Dutch company. A Lyra school pen with a pencil with street signs for the kids to learn the street signs. So you have all sorts of versions. I have a number of the typical yellow, but here in Europe we don't have as many yellow pencils as you do in the States. That's one of the differences. In the States you find Dixon's number 2 everywhere, whereas here they're few and far between. In fact, I don't think I have one single Dixon in this box. So there still is a difference between North American and European pencil culture, which is something that I hadn't really considered too much. Not sure what this is. An Orphée, I think that's a star. Orphée star, I think that's a French Comté. Here's a sharpener I have. So I begin with sharpening my first pencil, which is, I'll just put the sharpener on the computer. I'm going to make note of these pencils. I broke off the tip. That's something that does happen occasionally, even to the best of sharpeners. So it's a good way to start. Well, that sounds better. There we go. Nice sharp point. and I have to double up my glasses here. It's a 222-3 Mentor Comte France HB number 2. So this is a good standard pencil. 2223 Mentor Comte France HB number 2. Comte then is accredited with being the inventor of the modern pencil, but in fact it seems that Gerhard Hartmut of Bohemia, or rather at that time Austro-Hungarian Empire, was somewhat earlier in figuring out a way to combine kaolin, clay and graphite powder to make cores of different qualities, and thus also have control over the sort of intensity of the pencil itself, which is essential for the modern pencil. This one is just a no-name pencil with some advertisement on it, but this is I'll just note it's no name. It doesn't even have, it had an eraser on it, but it doesn't have any other markings. So I think it's a B, a 2B. It's quite soft, but there's no other marking on it. Okay, speaking of Hartmut, here Bohemia, LNC Hartmut Mephisto, COP 173 BM. This is also quite, it's not as soft as I thought it was. LNC Hartmut. Mephisto. 173B. Alright. It's a very nice pen. It's a round one. It's somewhat larger in your hand than most pencils, which is interesting. Here I have a yellow one. It's called a Temograph Filia, made in Italy. It writes quite neatly. It's a B2. So it's soft, but not too soft. Temograph. Maybe it's used for specific something. I don't know. I've never seen one like this. So the idea was to have people present their pencils and a little story along with the pencil, why they chose that pencil and not this pencil. Because my point of departure was the sharpener, of which only the mechanics remain in the defibrillator, but it's the memory of sharpening pencils that sort of got me going. Because as a kid I would love to go out and sharpen my pencil. I would especially break off my points to be able to go sharpen my pencil. The pencil sharpener was outside the door in an old building, school I went to when I was really I think from my 6th to my 8, well, maybe 10 years or something. So grade school, and we would have this unwritten rendezvous. Other kids from other classes would also sharpen their pencils, and we would meet up in a big bathroom, and we would be involved in horseplay and fooling around and stuff. So the sharpener for me is like a sort of major social interaction period, much more interesting than school itself. And I don't know, at that time the kids used pencils a lot. I don't know if they still do. We also had fountain pens. I don't think we had a lot of ballpoints. There were ballpoints, but we didn't use them that much. I'm not sure why. Maybe the teachers didn't like them. Anyway, here we have a Minoline copier, Prima Dure. Not sure which company it is, Minoline. It's also got a sort of crossed sword symbol. And number 1124A. 1124A.
It's also round, a bit like the, I think it might be a hardwood also. It looks very much like a hardwood. Same sort of size, a bit thicker. Copier prima. It's also yellow, but it's more like yellow-orange. Then we have another Rheinzeil. Rheinzeil called Woody. Woody Horn. I think it's more or less sort of for kids, for sort of leisure pencil, let's call it. Then we have True Tint. Eberhard Faber Cedar 745. This is also interesting. It's also quite a thick pencil. It's a bit like the Bohemian one from Hartmut, but it's slightly more slender. And yes, Eberhard Faber. The Eberhard Faber is probably New York, whereas the Faber company started in Nuremberg, but there are different parts of the family that went different ways, so it's not quite clear always which, but I think this one, Eberhard Faber, must be. Although it does say Cedre in French on it, so maybe it's difficult to say. True Tint. True Tint. I have to look that up. It's also something special. I think maybe it's also a graphic pencil for copyists. Then I have here a Swiss Caran d'Ache, which is also very traditional. And it's in fact a white pencil. So it's more like an artist's pencil. And then here we have a very traditional one, Gilbert France, Comté. This is a traditional Comté pencil. Quite soft. HB number 2, it's softer than an HB if you ask me. But it's it feels good in the hand. It's also round but not too thick. This is an old chewed up pencil, but I haven't looked at it because it has a metal extender. It's sharpened both ends, which is also handy for if you want to keep on writing and you don't want to take the time to sharpen it, you just turn it around and keep on writing. I think it was, I'm not sure, Roald Dahl, I think he sharpened like 6 pencils before starting to write so that he could continue writing without having to sharpen in the meantime. So that's, the way people sharpen their pen is also an interesting something to look into with metal extension cap. And those who read my comments on the blog also know that, for instance, the machines themselves are also disappearing. A lot of people remember them from school, but they're disappearing and people don't know where they all went to. And there was one person who visited their farmsteads many years after it had been abandoned and found the sharpener still attached to a cupboard, whereas the rest of the place had been completely stripped and vandalized, and unscrewed it and took it home, which is sort of a nice story I found. Nostalgic. Here another Comté Gilbert 33, number 2. It also says HB on it, HB number 2. But it's a lot harder than the Gilbert HB number 2 that I had a moment ago. So that's an interesting fact. But this Gilbert is a lot harder than this Gilbert. Why? What's with Gilbert? It looks like it's older. Yeah, because this is also Gilbert 33, I see. It's written much smaller. This is larger. But it's same pencil, same markings, red with a black end and a white line. One is more modern, the other is older. But the difference in the lead is quite remarkable. Here I have another chewed up oldie, hexagonal, white tip at the end. Don't know what it is. Unknown, about the same hardness as the Gilbert that I used just now, so I would put that at HB, possibly. And then we have another Rheinzeil 501, Design Holland. It's also a white pen, can't do anything with that on a... Then we have a Stabilo Ortello 282, F3, so this should be quite hard. Nope, it isn't, it's quite soft in fact. So, F3, have to look that up. 282. Nice livery, green and turquoise stripes with a red end. It smells nice too. I think it's a cedar, perfume cedar. Because that's one of the things, they used to use cedar, red cedar, but at a certain moment it became really difficult to find red cedar. They'd cut down all the trees, and they started reusing planking from houses and stuff, and door styles, and so wherever they could find stuff. And they switched to other sorts, including perfume cedar, which they then dyed to make it look darker. In fact, during the Second World War, these machines were actually banned, because they used up too much of the pencil just to sharpen it, so you had to go back to whittling your pencil by hand during the war to save on wood and stuff. Yeah, the whole pencil story is a bit connected to the wood, to the military-industrial complex, if you want. Comté was given the job to find a way to make pencils because of the blockades that ensured that France wasn't able to import graphite from England and even from Germany. The Napoleonic Wars, beginning of the Napoleonic Wars. So in fact, the modern pencil is a military operation to have writing material that can withstand battlefield conditions. And yeah, Comté is known now for pencils, but at the time he was more known as an inventor and also a Montgolfier, a balloonist, also for military applications to start war from the air. Now we're already busy with the Space Force, but at that time the Air Force didn't exist yet, so the pencil is very related to all this. Here I have another Gilbert 33. It still says 2B. This one says number 0, and this looks quite soft. Yeah, this is about as soft as the first one, but it's got different markings, which is sort of interesting. I'll have to look into that. But it's a Conte, like I was just talking about, Conte, yeah. Here I have a little yellow stub. Can't make out what it is. It has a flying horse on it. I sort of think it might be Chinese. Something Ur and then 898. And it needs to be sharpened, but there's not much left to sharpen it. As you can see, it's pretty well used up, so I have to push it along. Hang on. Alright. Oops. And I got it back. Ah, it's actually a yellow pencil. Maybe from the Yellow River, Yangtze, Chinese, Great Wall. Let's say it's a Yangtze. We'll call it Yangtze. This is the Mentor Conte I started with. Here's another yellow stub. This one's something No Infarion Resi. No Infarion Resi. No Infarion Resi. The no is end of something, so I'll have to investigate. I'm not sure what the no stands for. And here I have another stub. It's got a tulip on it and the number 0333030. 0333030. Hard to tell. We'll investigate. And then we have another, I think, Conte, but it has a red end, and gold and red end. It's a HB number 2. France, but I think it's a Conte. I think it's also quite soft, as I had the other one. So this is another generation, I think, slightly different coloration. And then here I have another Joubert, 33. This time the 33 is in front of the Joubert. And a crown on it, France, number 2, HB, but the end is also gold and white tipped instead of the white stripe and black tip. So this is also interesting. This is a 33 Joubert. It seems a bit harder, but it's still quite a soft pencil, but it's a bit harder than the other one, than the older ones that I had. So it's worth investigating, perhaps. And here I have a traditional, this is a Staedtler, it's got an eraser on it. Staedtler Norica. Staedtler is also a company from Nuremberg, somewhat later. Also all sorts of office supplies, including also sharpeners. 13246. 13246 HB.
So you see, this is just a small selection of pencils, which originally I wanted to combine my collection with what you guys were going to bring with you and exchange stories, but it's all gone a bit differently. To finish up, I wanted to actually mention the pomegranate, because it seems that the sharpener, which I presume was a Boston KS, but I'm not sure. But by the looks of the style of the remnant, I think I'm pretty sure that I remember Boston KS having this sort of 50s or late 40s styling, and I haven't seen it anywhere else. So I think it's a Boston KS, but at the same time, it could be an APSCO, which would be interesting because Chicago is one of the main places where these sharpeners were made, and all sorts of different ones. So the whole history of the sharpener in Chicago is in itself already an interesting proposition. But I didn't want to go too far into that because I wanted to concentrate on the personal stories. That didn't work out. My personal story is more or less the school story I told you. And also we had one at home, and that's maybe part of the reason that I intuitively, in my drawing, I made the housing, which is missing, the receptacle to pick up the shavings. I colored it red, but that's because subconsciously I must have thought of our sharpener that we had at home, and it had a red plastic receptacle. It was a Bulldog, which I'm not sure if that's a Boston or if it's maybe an APSCO. And the red also made me think of the pomegranates, which was the reason for that sharpener being there in the first place, because it seemed to have been used during a performance in which the traditional interpretation of pomegranate seeds was the main aspect of the show, and they would be hung up in little envelopes or little pillowcases. They have two traditions, the Armenian and the Jewish. You have one tradition that says a pomegranate. There are 613 seeds in a pomegranate, as much as the good deeds, mizuf in the Torah. And the more Armenian, or yeah, the antique interpretation has more to do with Persephone and the 365 days of the year, and fecundity of the earth, and the seasons, and that kind of thing. So one tradition says there are 365 seeds in the pomegranate. The other tradition says there are 613. I'm going to continue with this project in a way that maybe I will sharpen 613 pencils or 365 pencils. I still have to figure this out. But as for the presentation in Chicago, it didn't work out. This is a sort of ersatz presentation for the moment. And originally I was going to exchange the receptacle. Perhaps you did it there in Chicago, because I did mention it as part of my preparation, to exchange the receptacle which is missing with a hollowed out pomegranate. I don't know if that happened, and we'll see when the documentation arrives, because this is now the morning after, and everybody's got a hangover, I imagine. So we'll leave it at that for now. Thank you for your attention, and terribly sorry that I couldn't be there. I think I missed a great project, a great show, a great series of performances, and wish you all the very best. Thank you very much.